Hello, it's Honey again. I'm back today with another vlog, and this time to talk about the fact that my T blockers and HRT or hormones have arrived. I started the treatment yesterday. Obviously it's far too early for me to see any effects at all yet, so I'm just going to talk to you about the blockers, the hormones, what I know about both the products I have and ones that I chose not to have, a few bits and bobs about my hopes for the hormones, possible side effects and possible positive effects that I want. So I hope it's informative and that you continue to watch. Just a quick disclaimer about both of these treatments I'll be talking about today. They are prescription-based treatments and they are prescribed to me. I've had to jump through several hoops to get to them. I'll tell you about those in a minute, but I don't believe in herbal-based stuff. I don't think it's probably as safe as people think it is, and also if you're buying stuff off the internet that's herbal, you don't really know what you're getting. So I much prefer to take the medical route. Both the dosages and the actual items that I'll be taking are prescribed to me, and they've been tailored to me as such as well. I've had my blood work done by professional doctors, so don't view my dosages or even my compounds as exactly what you should be taking or what you should be doing. One of the most common questions I hear is how do I get on hormones, how do I get my blockers? Well, I can't speak for other parts of the world, but here in the UK you have to go through official channels. You can either take an NHS route, which is far longer and slower, but the process is still the same. In my case, I went for a private counsellor. I had about 3 to 5 months worth of assessment, and basically just to identify whether or not I actually had gender dysphoria, or you know, if hormones were going to be the correct course for me to take. Not every trans person has to take hormones. Some people are quite happy, and perfectly reasonably so, to live and work as one gender without seeking additional treatment. This is entirely up to whoever you are, but the chances are, if you're watching this, you want to know how to get T blockers and hormones. I had to go through about 3 to 5 months worth of assessment with a private counsellor. She was a great help, not only in the assessment but also in other things as well, like my coming out video that I did previously. She had a lot of good advice there as well. So even if you're not after treatments, I would suggest seeking out counselling anyway. After the counselling assessment, she wrote a referral letter for me, basically, to a doctor, again a private doctor that I'm currently using, who was able to then write me a prescription that I could fill online with a recommended chemist. Now, whenever you're doing all this sort of stuff online, both whether you're finding your counsellor, whether you're finding your doctor, or whether you're finding your chemist, you need to do your homework. You need to check that all these sources are official sources. You need to check that your doctor and your counsellor have registered qualifications and NHS numbers, or general practitioners numbers, GP numbers, things like that, so that you don't get conned, because there's an awful lot of people out there who are just willing to take advantage of you. If you're taking the NHS route, then you don't have to worry about that so much. You'll ask your local GP for the same thing. You'll just go to them and say you think you're transgender. They'll send you off to a gender clinic who will have specialists there who will put you through the same therapy that I took. At the end of that, they will then get back to your GP and say, yeah, they believe you're transgender and that it's alright for you to begin hormones, and you reach the same point again. After you get your referral, your doctor won't just issue a prescription. You need to get yourself checked out by your doctor, who will check to see if you're in good health. They'll ask you lots of questions about your family history and any potential conditions that you already, or pre-existing conditions you already have, and that will help them decide what treatments you should be on. It's important to be honest and open with these questions and answer them accurately, because you don't want to have your referral withdrawn simply because you weren't being honest. After you've gone through the health questions and that, you'll have to submit or go for blood work. This blood work will figure out how much testosterone you've got in your system and how much estrogen that you should be starting on as well. Obviously, the amount of testosterone in your system, it's more important to know that for the blockers, so that they can work out the dosage of blockers, and the amount of estrogen you get put on is actually based on your development curve and how far along that you are along your treatment. You'll obviously start on a lower dose and it will be gradually built up over time. They will require you to do blood work initially monthly, and then 3 monthly, and then possibly years down the line it will move to a 6 monthly system if you're comfortable with that and there's been no complications. First compound I'm going to talk to you about today is my T blocker. Mine was selected to be fenestride. I warn you now, I'm probably mispronouncing it, so here is the original packaging so you can see. Mine is a 5mg dosage. This is the average, although again it can be tailored specifically for you. Mine has been and will continue to be as I get my blood work up. And what they discovered is it also has a significant effect on hormone levels. It also can be in much smaller doses, I believe 1mg doses. It can be used to treat hair loss, which is something I'm very happy with, because I suffer from it myself. My natural hair would never be any good as it is at the moment, so I'm hoping this will help with that, as my major dysphoria is my lack of hair on my head and the never-ending supply of hair everywhere else. This stuff is also known to counteract body hair in many places, and obviously as it's a blocker it's going to affect hormonal areas of hair such as beard growth as well. So I'm really looking forward to those effects, and I'm hoping that I might get to a stage where I could actually use my natural hair instead of having to cover it up all the time. They come in these little silver foils. As you can see, I've taken one as I started the treatment yesterday. I'm not getting any effects yet, it's far too soon, but that'll be for my next update video. All I'm going to tell you today is that I read the leaflet back to front when it arrived, and it's important that you do the same. You must make yourself aware of all the effects, not just the ones you're looking forward to, but the ones that you're not. This might not bother some transgender males to females, but it is known to possibly have effects or side effects of impotency when you initially start taking it. I have said before that I care mostly about how I present, and that I don't want lower half surgery, and I'd like to keep as much function down there as possible if I'm going to keep that. So that is an effect I'm not looking forward to. I will see and obviously update to let you know if anything does occur with that. it does list on the side effects that it's a common side effect, and what that meant was 1 in every 10 people can experience it. So there is a good chance, unfortunately, that I will experience that negative side effect. As I said, I've been prescribed Fenestride. There are other ones out there. It's not the most common. The most common one that gets prescribed is Spirolactone, or Spiro for short. I didn't want Spiro because several years back I gave a kidney to a family member, and one of the known side effects of Spiro is it makes you urinate a lot more when you first start taking it, which is obviously putting a lot more volume and a lot more work through your kidneys. Only having one, I didn't want to stress my single kidney out, so I asked if I could not be put on Spiro and if they could find an alternative for me. As it worked out, it worked really well for me because, as I say, Fenestride is known to have significant effects on possible hair regrowth on your head, and also counteracting body hair, which for me, as I said before, is great news. The next compound I want to talk to you about today is my hormone. I've been given it in the form of patches. I've got a fairly common one, which is I'm going to butcher it again, but Evarol, I believe. These contain Essadril, which is an estrogen-based hormone. You get 8 patches in a pack. As you saw, those were the Evarol 100s. They are the strongest of the patches. These are meant for women experiencing menopause, but they also work for us as well. With these patches, you simply apply a patch anywhere between your waistline and the just short of the top of your thighs, so anywhere where effectively a set of boxer shorts would cover, if you want to think about it that way. I was initially quite concerned. I raised it with my doctor about them being in patch form, because I have heard and read that the patches have a habit of coming off if you are an active person, which I try to be. So far it's stayed on really well, and I hope it continues to do so. I've been prescribed at the moment 8 patches, which last me a month because I'm on 2 a week. You put one on, and then 3 days later you change it for another one, and then you wear that for 4 days. That gives you your week's cycle. I'm on a Tuesday and Friday cycle at the moment, and it's important to keep up with that cycle and not mess it about too much. They do provide you with a calendar in the box to help you figure it out. Again, it came with a pretty thick little leaflet, which was about 30 pages long. I know it's small, but it's still important to read all those and understand the possible side effects. Obviously, as I said, it's actually a treatment designed for women initially, to help them prevent the onset of menopause, or as a hormone replacement therapy, which is what we're after as well. So most of the leaflet doesn't mention anything about being trans, and it speaks specifically to women, but there's still useful snippets in there, and it's important to understand the pros and the cons of it. The patches come in a cellophane wrapper like the pills do. You just tear the top off, and then after you've torn the top off, there's a silver foil inside with a clear transparent patch on it, and you peel the 2 halves off and just apply it wherever you want as smoothly as possible, so that you don't get any rucked up edges which will catch on your clothes and make it come off earlier than you'd want. As I said, these are the Evarol 100s. These are 6.4 milligram patches. I've had my blood work done by a professional, so that is the level they feel I should be on at the moment, and it will be reassessed as we go forward, and they figure out what levels I'm absorbing and all the rest of it, and where it all balances out. I'll go through the pros and cons for us. Cons, there are health risks involved when taking it, like there are in anything. These patches, it warns in the leaflet about increased risk of heart disease, increased risk of deep vein thrombosis, tells you shouldn't be taking them if you've got a history of blood clots, or if you have a history of pulmonary embolisms, so which is when a clot travels up to your lung. So if you do have any of these pre-existing heart conditions, it's probably not a good idea for you to consider it as a course of treatment. I don't, so it's reasonably safe for me to take. There's a risk with anything that you take, as I said. Side effects that it warns about is tender breasts and possible breast enlargement, which is obviously one of the reasons why we're taking it, but it's, as I say, the leaflet is tailored towards women, so it's warning them that they may get the same effects that we're looking for. Obviously, and you start taking estrogen, that also acts as a hormone within your body against testosterone, so it will also have a repressing effect on that, so it could possibly enhance the side effects of moiety blockers, as I explained earlier. So it's important to know what to expect as much as possible. From what I hear and have seen in other people's vlogs, I can obviously expect an emotional roller coaster going forward, and several other, side effects. Hopefully more positive ones, such as, fat redistribution to my face to round it out, away from my stomach and onto my hips and my bum, and things like that, to give me a more feminine shape. Long term, I should expect, as I will be having my testosterone repressed by the blockers and by this as well, I should expect up to a possible 40% loss in muscle mass. 40% sounds like a lot, and it is. Many people do report a significant loss in strength, and I expect to receive the same, but of course remember it's only a percentage, so you can only lose what you've initially got. I am a gym goer, so I expect that I will notice the effects of that quite significantly, maybe more than people who haven't been to the gym previously. So it's definitely something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Looking forward to hopefully the positive effects of the feminizing shape and repressed hair growth and everything else in places that I don't want it. Thank you for watching my video today. I'm going to continue to do monthly updates on the effects, both good and bad, so I hope you come back for those. In the meantime, if you've got any ideas or suggestions for other videos you'd like to see in between, or possibly in addition to, then let me know in the comments below. Once again, thank you for watching, and bye!